Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I thought we'd check out the Unreal Engine 5 Lyra Starter Game demo that you can download for free. It is basically a third-person shooter game template that you can use as the base project to create either a single-player or multiplayer third-person shooter game. Now I say multiplayer because the entire game is actually set up fully networked replicated. So that means you can actually create sessions, host sessions, and join your friends and play the game either versus bots or versus actual other players. Definitely is quite a bit that this project has to offer, and I want to cover some of the main features of this demo. Let's go ahead and just jump right into the project. Okay, so first of all, the first thing that you're going to see here is this level selection demo. So over here are the two different game modes. And basically when you slide this little pawn over that green little selection pad over there, it'll launch the actual mode. So this isn't actually what it would look like if you were to launch the game like you would from, say, Steam or whatnot. Just click on front end here, and this is basically what it would look like if you were to actually launch this game from the desktop. So you can see here it comes with basically its own options menu. So we have Play Lyra. And then we have the three different options here: quick play, start game, or browse. So quick play is join existing session or game type, kind of like instant action sort of thing. Starter game is where you can actually host a game, play with bots. So you can change this from bots disabled, bots enabled, network online, LAN, or offline. And all of the different networking aspects or the hosting and session backend is all built with Epic's online subsystem. So it's built completely with their entire backend in mind. So that means you can utilize things like their leaderboards, the voice chat, and cross-platform, so that you can play with people on different platforms like, mobile or Xbox or whatnot. Okay, so you also have this server browser here where you can search for different players' servers that they host. Options menu, you have a really nice detailed options menu here where you can change your resolution, your graphics settings, all that stuff. It's really well fleshed out, all of the UI in this demo. And here's actually some of the gameplay here. So if I just play in this one particular mode, basically we have this third-person character where we can run across the map. This particular mode is called Control, where you have to stay in the certain areas. We have A, B, and C, and then you can also defend and attack other controlled areas that are controlled by either the bots or the other players that you're playing against. So you can see there are a bunch of different weapon pickups as well. So some of the different weapon pickups or weapon types are, you have your basic pistol, then you have sort of this shotgun that has a burst effect, and then you have your normal assault rifle that works well for long range firing. You also do have a health pickup that restores health. Your health actually doesn't regenerate in this game at all. Of course, you can go ahead and change all the settings to your likings. This is a full demo game that you can modify and build your own project upon. Now, as far as the actual movement mechanics and overall feel of the game, it was really smooth. I feel like they took a lot of the movement and controls from Fortnite and basically slapped it in this game, because not only like the movement feels really nice, but also the animations. So the different blending between the character moving around and rotating their weapon like to face the enemy. Now there also is like a little scoreboard here, so you can see in real time all the kills that you got, as well as all of the other players on the other team. And there are a couple other mechanics in this game, such as these portals. So these blue little portals you can run through and they teleport you to a different part of the map. And you also have these little launch pads, so if you run over these, basically just launch the character. Like I said, the movement feels a lot like Fortnite, so wouldn't be surprised if they used the same sort of code in this game. But as you can see, like this yellow one launches you vertically, while the blue one launches you horizontally. Now I actually played a lot of the other mode, which is called Elimination, which is basically just like a team deathmatch, and the bots are actually really good. or at least the difficulty is cranked up all the way, because it seems like the enemy AI always kind of knows your location, and whenever you peek around the corner, it's always got its crosshair on you. But yeah, at least the AI is actually fun and difficult to play against. But other than that, that is pretty much all of the gameplay elements or features of Lyra. Now, under the hood, you have all of the different blueprints, as well as, the UI elements that they use to create this demo project that you can actually dive into. Things like the main menu, settings menu, so you can open up all the different widgets here and kind of dig into how they've actually gone ahead and set up, the different screens. So here's actually the session browser. So like the server browser that you use to find other people's games. And like I said, this uses the Epic Games online subsystem, which actually currently isn't exposed to Blueprint. So if you double click on some of these functions, they're actually implemented in C++, but they are Blueprint callable, at least within this project. So you can see here the quick play, start game, and browse. So a lot of the different widget elements, which I think is a lot helpful for people who are trying to figure out how to design your user interface. Now, as far as gameplay goes, Project Lyra basically uses the gameplay ability system, which is a gameplay framework that you can use to create pretty advanced games. Best way to sort of explain it is, when you make your first game, you probably have put all of the blueprint logic or code inside of your character class, whether that be, the different abilities or things that your character can do. Maybe it's like a weapon blueprint. You put it all into your character class, and you might just have, a character class that is just massive, and you have all this different blueprint graph, which when you start to scale up, you add more different abilities, different weapons. The character class is just going to be massive because you have all that logic built into that one class. Now, you could subclass everything, and what I mean by that is, you create a different blueprint actor for, your weapons, and then you create a child of that blueprint for each weapon type. And all of the logic for like firing is going to be inside of that weapon. What the gameplay ability system aims to do is to create sort of a framework for holding all the different abilities and things like health, effects, debuffs, all that sort of stuff. That way you can create a very complex game that scales really well. As soon as you start adding more than 10 different abilities, maybe your game has over 100 different abilities, and maybe different character classes like a mage, a warrior, things like that. Gameplay abilities lets you use that existing framework and build upon all of the existing tools that it has to offer. Now, the actual implementation of it is a little bit more advanced in terms of how you actually set it up. You have to use C++ to set up attributes, so things like the health and stamina of your character. You actually have to set up only in C++. But other than that, I think for the most part, you can create your character's abilities in Blueprint. Now, obviously, you might be wondering what are the benefits of using Gameplay Ability System and why Project Lyra actually used that. The main reason is when it comes to multiplayer networking, with Gameplay Ability System, you really don't have to worry about networking because the whole system is essentially network replicated. What that means is you just create a new ability, you click a checkbox that says that this ability is replicated. As long as you use the current framework of the system, it will all be network replicated. Whereas if you were to set this up from scratch, you'd have to set up a custom event that calls an RPC on the server and then multicast it and so on and so forth. You'd have to set up all of those events per each different action or ability that your character has. So there are definitely a lot of benefits to using gameplay abilities, and that's basically why they used it in this starter game. And like I said, it isn't the most beginner friendly of systems, and so when you start digging into actually some of the different blueprints and the way they set up the project, you're going to find that there is quite a bit to digest. So yeah, that's basically the Lyra Starter Game project. Overall, I think it's a definitely a great project to use as a base project. That way you can build your game upon it. It's definitely not the most beginner friendly project. I want to make that clear. I feel like it's aimed more towards a studio that has a sort of a team. Now, if you are an indie developer or solo developer, it might be a lot more to actually learn and to dig into the demo project. So yeah, those are kind of my first thoughts and first impressions of the Lyra Starter Game. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Maybe you guys want to see some more tutorials on this demo, how to add maybe different weapons, or swap out like the character mesh, or maybe even testing out some of the gameplay mechanics in an actual network environment. So like packaging up the game and playing it over the internet. Just let me know down in the comments down below what you guys want to see. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.